So hello and welcome to today's video. Now Rockstar Games are no strangers to having certain elements in their games changed or outright removed. Some examples of this include the infamous hot coffee scandal in GTA San Andreas, or the implied glorification of violence against Haitians in GTA Vice City, or even having to change the game considerably to release their games in Japan and Australia. But today we're going to be going over some things in Bully that were changed in order to prevent Bully getting banned or adding more heat to the fire it caused before it even came out. And let's start off with Mandy on the toilet. Now during the paparazzi mission, Ernest Jones orders Jimmy to take photos of Mandy Wiles, and Jimmy takes one of her cheerleading, one of her in the shower, and one of her shaving her legs. And a few missions later we learn that Ernest has had these pictures stuck up around town as a way to humiliate Mandy. And one thing that players noticed is that one of the posters that was stuck up was one of Mandy sitting on the toilet, which was never taken at all during the paparazzi mission by Jimmy, which heavily implies that Jimmy was going to take these kind of photos in the original paparazzi mission. Which itself, coupled with the fact that Jimmy already takes pictures of her in the shower, might have towed the line a bit too close to having Bully either banned or been rebranded as an 18+. Hell, the paparazzi mission alone was already towing a close enough line. The next item is boxing. Now during the boxing minigame, only on the Nintendo Wii version of Bully, you'll notice that as the fight progresses, your opponent's face will start to have some visible damage, such as black eyes, bruised faces, and this feature was never seen all on any other versions of Bully. The original PlayStation 2 version, Scholarship Edition on PC and Xbox, or even Anniversary Edition, only the Wii version has this. And this was most likely removed as one of the major complaints about Bully before it was released was that it let players completely bludgeon NPCs and cause them bodily harm, and seeing a character with a bloodied up face would have only added more fuel to that fire. So why is it only in the Wii version but not any other version of Bully? Well, the reason behind that is pretty simple. The Wii version of Bully is actually the earliest build of Bully that's available to play, and was probably overlooked. The next thing that was removed and censored in Bully was, underwear. Because one of the more questionable things that was going to be in Bully was that all the girls had underwear appearances planned for them rather than pyjamas. And this was only discovered in 2017 on a Rockstar developer's portfolio where he had pictures of every single character he worked on in all of their outfits. And for some reason, none of the girls had pyjama appearances, but they were in their underwear. Now all of this was changed to put the girls in actual pyjamas. And the only leftover of this is in the actual girl pyjama models themselves, because all character models in Bully have some abbreviation next to them. For example, cheerleader models are abbreviated with _CH, Halloween outfits are abbreviated with _Ween, and Winter has _W, etc. Now the girls pyjama models are listed with _UW, obviously meaning underwear. Likewise, the male characters who have pyjama appearances, such as Ivan, don't have _UW on their character model. Now understandably this was changed because, well, if you don't know why, you're either very young or you're a bit of a nonce. The next thing that was removed from Bully was Gary Smith's swastika. Now this is something I did an in-depth video on in 2020, but I'll just quickly cover it again. Originally Gary Smith was going to have a Nazi swastika on his Halloween costume, and for years it was highly debated on whether this was a rumour to coincide with Bully being a much darker and adult game, or if it was a probability seeing as Rockstar just flat out gave Ernest Jones Hitler references via his speech and flag designs, and the fact Gary's costume isn't exactly subtle. Now while no beta build of the game has surfaced containing it yet, there is one very low quality screenshot which shows a red armband on Gary's arm while he's wearing his SS officer costume, via the Brady Game Strategy Guide. This is the only proof of this actually existing so far, and this was censored to avoid Bully possibly getting banned in Germany, which at the time had very strict laws on the use of Nazi imagery, and a lot of games and movies got either banned or outright censored there, especially titles based on World War II. Wolfenstein, Call of Duty for example, they were all pretty censored over there. That, and given Bully's already extremely controversial history, people like Jack Thompson would have had a field day seeing a mission where Jimmy's just hanging out with somebody who's just casually branding around a Nazi swastika. So if you play Bully on PlayStation in Europe, you'll realise that the name isn't Bully, but it's rather Canis Canem Edit. Now as we all know, Bully was an extremely controversial game during its development. Don't know how many times I've had to say that in this video, Christ, that's getting annoying. And Rockstar had a depressingly high amount of backlash about Bully shortly after its announcement at E3, where it was even debated in the UK House of Commons and various retailers outright refused to sell Bully on the basis of it being this awful, bullying, glorifying game. So Bully was rebranded as Canis Canem Edit in Europe, which is the motto seen on Bullworth's crest, which was most likely done to try and cleanse the incredibly bad odour Bully caused of only its name and synopsis being revealed. And all mentions of it being called Bully in Europe were changed, such as the box art and the game's loading screens were all changed to bear the Canis name. Even the door loading screen, which would usually spell out Bully in the American region, was altered to show the crest instead. Aside from this though, the Canis version of the game was not really changed at all, a few extra language options, that's not really anything censored, but the name still stands on PlayStation 3, 4 and 5 re-releases. Even though it was changed back to Buddy for Scholarship Edition and Anniversary Edition's re-releases in Europe. Now the next one is actually an incredibly weird one, because it's the Bikini Girl artwork. Now don't get too excited, it's not like Grand Theft Auto or anything like that, but we all know that GTA has that one sexually suggestive artwork of a woman, and Buddy doesn't have that before you get excited. But there is an artwork of Mr Burton and a nerd, and Mr Burton's holding some magazines, and on the PlayStation 2 copies of Buddy we can see a bikini girl behind Mr Burton, or at least a cutout of one, implying that this is related to his interest in adult entertainment, and whatever Mr Burton is hiding from the student isn't something that should be seen by his eyes. At least without paying, that's what it looks like to me. But on the Scholarship Edition and Anniversary Editions of Buddy, the bikini girl behind Burton is gone, therefore giving this artwork a completely different meaning. This was probably removed because, honestly, it was just quite out of place compared to all the other artworks. There's also no nudity, and nobody ever really appears half naked in Buddy anyway, with the exception of Jimmy in his underwear and Mandy in paparazzi. But the point being is there are no characters that appear in swimwear. It's not like Grand Theft Auto where you can go down the beach and just see half naked people there. And even then, when Buddy does get down to the raunchy humour with Burton's magazines and Ernest and the Hay Barn, we don't actually get to see what they're looking at, it's just heavily implied that way to keep Buddy at a 15 rating. Now the last one wasn't actually removed, but there were attempts at getting it removed, and that is the LGBT content. Now Buddy was the first Rockstar game to include the ability to let you kiss boys as well as girls if you really wanted to. And while this does exist in the final game, and there's even achievements for it on Xbox, people claimed it was forced upon children, it would poison their minds and it was morally reprehensible. And some people really tried to get this feature removed. Activists tried to get it removed. Jack Thompson tried to get it removed. But all attempts at getting this removed were declined by the ESRB, as they said they were already aware of this and there was nothing overly sexual about it, it was just kissing. And Rockstar Games themselves defended the edition by saying there was nothing wrong with homosexuality and was met with extreme positivity by the LGBT community. But that's about it with some of the things I could find in Buddy which got removed and censored, or in the case of the last one, tried to get censored. Thank you for watching and have a great day.